All right, we're getting in some big breaking news at this moment as we are learning that there's a big win for EPS. There's been a setback for OPS as now the Madras High Court has set aside a single judge order of status quo ante that was announced on 23rd of June. The judge has now allowed the petition filed by Edappadi K Palaniswami. This is a big win for EPS and blow for OPS. Remember, there was a status quo announced on 23rd of June. And for more details, let's quickly go across to Purnima Murli, who's live on this news story. Purnima, share the details with us.
Well, the division bench of the Madras High Court has ruled in favour of EPS, saying that the General Council meeting that was held on the 11th of July is valid, which means that Edappadi Palaniswami's position as the interim General Secretary is valid, and whatever resolutions were passed on the 11th of July, all those resolutions are valid. That's what the Madras High Court had in fact pronounced its order. Huge setback for O. Pannirselvam, who got some relief after the single judge of the Madras High Court had ruled in favour of OPS. But at the moment, it's an advantage EPS, and Edappadi Palaniswami is the interim General Secretary of the party. That's what the court has ruled in favour of EPS. Celebrations here outside Edappadi's house, and all the senior leaders are now trying to visit him and congratulate him after the court had pronounced its order. So at the moment, the rift between the two is only intensifying, and O. Pannirselvam camp, sources say, will challenge this verdict and move a higher court. That's what we've been hearing from the OPS camp as well at this point in time. Back to you.
Right, Purnima, as you just mentioned that there's an atmosphere of celebration. If you could take us through what is happening outside EPS's residence right now.
Well, loyalists of Edappadi Palaniswami distributed sweets, and you can see that inside the residence of Edappadi Palaniswami, senior leaders are currently visiting. Senior leaders of the AIADMK after the court verdict are visiting Edappadi Palaniswami. So that's the visual that you can see. Celebrations by his loyalists outside distributing sweets, and inside all the senior leaders are taking turns to visit him and congratulate him after the court verdict. That's the scene outside EPS's house. Remember, when O. Pannirselvam got a verdict in his favour, there were huge celebrations. Loyalists of O. Pannirselvam did burst crackers, distributed sweets. Here, it's comparatively a low-key affair. Sweets distributed by the loyalists, but no major celebrations just yet. It's only senior leaders inside Edappadi's residence at this point in time.
Right. Purnima, stay with us because I'm also joined in by Kovai Satyan of the AIADMK. Mr. Satyan, how do you see today's development? Is this indeed going to be a big win for EPS?
It is indeed, because people with ulterior motives, with personal agenda, were knocking the doors of judiciary now and then for their own personal benefits. I think EPS demonstrated to the outside world and the people today that whatever has happened through the norms and the rules laid down by the bylaw. There is no breeze as such that has been claimed by OPS faction. And yeah, moving forward, this is the start of one of the turnaround event in history of AIADMK, wherein he'll emerge as the single leader, taking the party forward.
Also, Mr. Satyan, how do we see the General Council meetings now being headed? Will OPS also be involved if there were a General Council meeting to be taking place anytime soon?
So, the verdict of status quo on June 23rd, which gave out a message saying that the July 11th General Council meeting held is not as per the norms. But today's verdict reinstated the fact that the July 11th General Council meeting is as per the norms, which means that the resolution passed in the General Council meeting is valid. One such resolution is termination of Mr. OPS. He was offered the chair to come to the General Council meeting, wherein he chose to go and vandalize the party office, ransack and vandalize the party office, and take a couple of documents with him. So he was terminated from the primary membership of the party. That was the resolution passed which still holds good and it will hold good.
And how will the EPS camp now take this decision forward?
There is no EPS camp. There is AIADMK headed by Edappadi, and you have a rebel called Mr. OPS. He is a rebel. That's it.
If he's a rebel,
The majority wins. Majority is with Mr. Edappadi, who is heading the AIADMK as the interim general secretary. Soon as he will become the general secretary of the party once the elections are over.
All right. How will you take the decision forward now? What do we expect? Any changes to take place within the party?
Our leader will decide. He will take a call. This party is known to be a party with the discipline of an army. So whatever the leader says, every 1.5 crore cadres fall in line. So whatever he says will definitely be followed by the cadres. And our leader will take a call at the appropriate time and taking and steering this party forward.
All right, Mr. Satyan, thank you so much for speaking to CNN News 18. On that note, let's quickly go back to Purnima. Purnima, we heard what Vai Satyan had to say. He said that, it clearly was apparent that EPS is the leader at the moment and that the party cadres will be listening to whatever orders are passed by EPS. It seems that this is going to be a very tricky situation for OPS as far as the hem of affairs in AIADMK are concerned.
Well, absolutely. As per the July General Council meeting, even as Edappadi was appointed as the interim General Secretary, Edappadi Palaniswami then announced on that particular day that O. Pannirselvam and loyalists of O. Pannirselvam, they are now sacked from the party. So, as per the latest order, Edappadi Palaniswami will be the interim General Secretary of the party, and O. Pannirselvam, the move to, in fact, sideline O. Pannirselvam and cancel his primary membership, that still holds, which is why O. Pannirselvam and his camp are now looking at the legal routes possible to fight the case. So OPS camp says that they will challenge this High Court and fight and take the legal case forward. So at the moment, it's a huge setback for OPS as he has been sacked from the party, and that resolution is valid as per the latest order. So we'll have to wait and see when they plan to move the higher court.